This is the 2024 Ford Ranger. Now last week we did drive the Raptor version of this with the larger 3.0 liter twin turbo EcoBoost engine. And this one, we're actually driving the 2.3. Because get this, the MSRP price for the Lariat is just under $50,000. This one starts at $47,000 with all the options. Now the Lariat is the only one trim piece that you can actually buy for this pickup truck that actually includes leather seats and push to start. And so in today's video, I want to go ahead and share with you all the unique features that the Lariat has to offer. Let's get started. So I am going to pop the hood because I also want to show you how easy it is to repair this vehicle. And I also want to correct myself because I did say push to start is only available on the Lariat. It's also available on the Ranger Raptor. Those are the only two trim pieces for the Ranger that have the push to start option. Now let's open up the hood real quick and let me go ahead and bring this prompt up. It's one of these manual ones, which I personally like because you don't have to replace this over like a decade or two when it loses like its power, its full maximum ability to like raise it up. Because this is an EcoBoost and it does put out an impressive 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. And the cool thing about this is that it does have a towing capacity up to 7,500 pounds, which is quite impressive for a mini truck like this, in my opinion. Fog lamps, active arrow, I guess, the little flaps that go on and off. 360 camera all the way around, and it does feature the latest generation of Ford LED headlights. The performance, these actually do swivel at night, and they're actually quite bright in my opinion for a stock pickup truck. But back in the engine, there is an optional 2.7 liter V6, the same V6 twin turbo that's found on the F-150, which easily produces more power, 315 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. But repairability, maintenance stuff, you do have easy access to your dipstick. This vehicle does take 5W30. Your throttle body is located here. Batteries in front. And look at that, there's plenty of room to like reach anywhere. Reachability, this is really impressive. And then since of course this is a 4-cylinder, we do have access to the spark plugs right above here. Super easy and convenient to grab. Now in terms of how it looks like on the bottom, let's go ahead and check it out. So down here, wow, you do have plastic skid plates here, which don't do a bad job. It's almost as protected like the Ranger Raptor was. And over there, I'm assuming there's a little drain opening for your oil. And back on top, you have your air box located right here. And fuse box should be over here. Oh, here it is. Let's see if they provide any additional tools. That's basically the fuse box cover. It doesn't even have schematics. But do they provide the tool? They do not. You're going to have to carry one on hand in case. But moving along, we do have Goodyear's tires. The Lariat features this fancy design for their wheels, which looks like a sonic spin almost. And these happen to be 255, and it was 18-inch wheels. Brakes, nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. Smart door handles only for the front and driver's side. You got turn signals on your side mirrors, and you have big steppers right here that basically allows you to put your entire foot in here and have quick access to the bed. And then it's actually almost 5 inches wider in the bed, from my understanding, between the wheel wells. So it can actually fit large plywood in here, like 4x8, just fine. And as we go in the back here and open this, it is slow lowering tailgate because we do have a shock right here. I forgot the exact name, but it does slow down when it goes down. It doesn't just fall down immediately. Your ruler, your clamps. Like every F-150, yes, you even have a bottle opener right there. Now, this is interesting. I thought, oh, my hands are dirty. I thought this was exclusive to the Ranger Raptor, but all the Rangers have this. And last time I checked, this looks very similar to like the code orange that you find on the Ranger Raptor, or Raptors in general, that iconic orange color. But back there, you do have your inverter. One of them is a 12 volts, there it is. And then the other one is your household outlet. I'll put the numbers on the screen. But back here, you do have lights that illuminate in the bed here, which is all controlled from the front. Your gas filler is located on the driver's side. And yes, even though this is turbo, it does take 87, so you can fill up with regular fuel if you need to. But something tells me Ford will recommend you to use premium if you can. From my understanding, it's 19-gallon gas capacity, which allows this pickup truck to easily get about 400 miles of range under a single gas tank. Hitch, it's not crazy high like the Ranger Raptor was, but the hitch is here available. Your trailer connectors are right here, and you do have a full spare and one of the tools to remove it. It's located right here because your spare is right down here. Live axle suspension with leaf springs. Nothing really out of the ordinary for a pickup truck. But I do want to show you something. The taillights. They do feature the blind spot monitoring even for your trailer, which is awesome. This design doesn't fully illuminate. I wish it did. I don't know why Ford decided to make it only this section to illuminate. But you do have traditional amber lights because if I turn on this hazards, you can see that it's using halogen lights, light bulbs for the hazard. Same goes for your reverse lamps as well. But you do have sonar sensors in the rear as well as the corner back here. It's not bad, it's a little bit wider. But in the back, plenty of space. This bottom portion can raise up. You just need to pull this little tab right here. And it goes up like so, giving you access to additional cubbies, your floor jack, and you just pull this to lock it back secure. Your rear passengers do have access to cup holders and this back thing, and the back seat can also fold down, and this one does have the optional subwoofer, even more access to additional storage back there. Hopping back in the truck, I got a good amount of headspace, very similar size like the Ranger Raptor. From the front, I do have good visibility on the road, keeping me occupied if I need to be entertained and seeing what's going on from the outside. Doors do feature cubbies to store not just water bottles, but also a little bit of trash if you need to. But in terms of proper air vents, there's none. But I do find that sometimes, positioned correctly, the air vents in the front can actually reach the rear passengers just fine. And this is just a little storage compartment. And down here, we do have access to a USB-C and a household outlet, which is what you really need. But there are air vents in the back, but in my opinion, I wouldn't consider these air vents because they're located right here, and other than your feet receiving this, there's not really a point to this. I wish you just integrated right there instead of that little cubby that they integrated. So the cool thing about Ford vehicles is you have this number keypad, and it's all programmable from the front, of course. But if you're surfing, you don't want to carry your keys around, you could leave your car keys inside by tapping 8 and 0 at the same time. It will override the vehicle to lock regardless if the car has its keys inside, and you just have access to it by entering a PIN or using the secondary key. Oh, and before I talk about the secondary key, this is the key fob they're using. It's kind of outdated as it's still using the old 2017 design. And then right below here, you have a blank because right here would be where your tailgate release button would be located. As a reference, here's my 2017 Ford F-150 Raptor key fob. Same design as well. All right, so hopping in the Ranger, you have all the common things. You even have this dual glove box, which is pretty deep. No ports in there, unfortunately, but still awesome. You could fit your phone right here, though, if your passengers like to find a place to rest their phone or store other small devices like cameras and such. Proper size glove box. And for the Lariat, you do have BMOs. Now, from my understanding, in other places, the Ranger does have a USB port right here to hook up to like a dash cam, but here in the States, no other Ford vehicle, to my knowledge, aside from the brand new Ford Mustangs, have that, because if you look closely, it's solid. It looked like there could have been something there, but here in the States, we don't have that. So hopefully in the near future, Ford could actually give that ability here in the States for us who actually own the Ford Ranger. But the air vents are very similar to like the Ranger Raptor. It still follows that grille design pattern for the air vent. And then in here, it does feature wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, cup holders, your drive mode selector that also acts as your trailer backup assist. That's exclusive to Ford. I like the fact that even the small Ranger has that. And if we turn on the pickup truck, we do have the larger LCD display. Now, all Rangers in the United States currently do not have an optional sunroof at all, which is kind of a downer, I want to say. I'm perfectly fine with it, but I know some people would consider that a downer. That's the reason why I said that. But the cool thing is, even though this is the 2x4, basically a rear-wheel drive only, you can actually lock your rear differential right here. But then you also have your your engine auto start to stop. Whenever you pull up at a red light, it's going to turn off to consume gas and then turn back on as soon as you release your foot off the brake. Parking assist, traction control, e-brake, and if I put the vehicle in drive, this one does not auto shift to park. So if I'm off-roading, I don't have to be concerned about that. It doesn't automatically go back into park. I like this shift knob. I even like the fact that for a 10-speed automatic transmission, by tapping the down gear button on the shift knob to go enter manual mode, it will actually show you all your 10 speeds, and you can actually disengage the ones you don't want. So if you're towing something or you just want to be locking like a couple of gears, you can actually eliminate them. And yeah, it actually makes sure it doesn't shift to the next gear so long as it's grayed out. I like this override ability. More power to the owner. And of course you have your iconic French fry holder right here, which it stated yes you can put your phone here, but I did a quick turn and it just falls off all the time. I do not recommend putting your phone in here. Trust me, learn from my mistakes. AC vent controls, dual climate of course for driver and passenger side. It's just dual climate for these two passengers because again the rear doesn't have air vents in the back. And instead of sharing like a steering wheel from like the F-150, the Ranger has its own unique steering wheel, which is the same one that's found on the Ranger Raptor as well. Everything is pretty much standard. You'll find your heated steering wheel located with combination with your heated seats. Only heated seats, unfortunately, no ventilation, but it's for you and both the passengers. There is memory seats only on the driver's side. I know some vehicles have it on as an option on the passenger side. The Rangers do not have that. Not even the Ford Ranger had that. Your media control, your screen. This is pretty advanced for a Ranger because it does a lot of things I wasn't expecting to find on a Ranger version. So for instance, if I go into my menu and then we go into towing, you can find a lot of towing stuff back here, including like towing status, trailer information, trailer stat lights. If you want to do like a light test, you have that freedom to do so, which is pretty advanced for, again, a Ranger. But then you also have navigation, phone, settings. In the settings, you can configure your gears. So if you want to swap this with your transmission temperature, you can. Like, you can only do the left and right side, so like oil pressure, I can swap it just like that, or transmission temperature. And then left and right, again, I have the turbo boost gauge located right there, and it looks like it could read up to 20 psi, which is quite impressive. Vehicle maintenance, of course, you can monitor your oil life right here. I know I'm low on gas, I'll take care of that in a little bit. And of course, in my view, you could customize to the different view you want to see. On average, this truck has been averaging about 19 miles per gallon, which is quite impressive. And then for your mode selectors, if we do select between the different modes, we have normal, eco, sport, tow, as well as slippery. It's all unique animations. And your fog lamps controls are also located here, as well as your light up bed lamp right there. Now this does have wireless CarPlay as well as Android Auto. Now we are using the latest Sync 4A, and from my understanding, you do have the ability to sketch, but there's no mini games like you expect to find like on the Lightning and such. Unfortunately, these are the apps you see here are the ones you only get. But towing is pretty impressive because you actually memorize your trailers right here and do the whole trailer process. So basically name your trailer, I'm just gonna call it 1, enter, and then you have the selection between hydraulic or electric. Your brake effort, you could adjust that, or you can manually adjust it from here. And then you can measure your trailer as well as the width. This way it's all saved inside the vehicle, and you confirm, and then you have it saved right there. You can walk you through everything you need to know in case you're new to attaching a trailer. All the do's and don'ts, which I appreciate that they let you do this right here in the checklist section. And then in settings, you can always go back and change certain things. And to delete it, just press on your number or name and then just tap delete on the very bottom. You even have blind spot 2 abilities with your trailer, but you do have blind spot indicators on both driver and passenger side like any ordinary vehicle. In terms of cool features, you'll find all the vehicle settings in the setting tab over here. You do have the auto hold ability. If you want to enable this, you can. But your drive assist tab is located here if you want to adjust anything. And then vehicle settings. But unlike other vehicles I've noticed with Fords, they will actually show you exactly what each thing does. So if you're new to like lane keep assist, it will actually play like a cool little video, as well as speed limit assist. Literally has a video for everything except for auto hold, unfortunately. But you have your cross traffic alert. So if you just bought this vehicle and you haven't purchased a vehicle for a long while, I do like the fact that Ford will actually go over everything with you. But in the vehicle tab, you can find some luxury premium vehicle stuff like easy entry, which basically will retract the driver's seat as well as the steering wheel, so it's easier for you to get in and out of your truck. And then remote startup, you can allow it to automatically turn on your climate control as well as your steering wheel, heated steering wheel, and you can set the duration to whatever timing that you want. Now for window control, this is actually one of the few cars that not only allow you to open but also close all your windows with your remote. You can enable it right here, even will tell you a brief description how to control it and use it. Now, a personal tip I like doing, this is just my personal preference, but I like to turn off the chirp when I lock the vehicle. I don't want others to know that I locked my car, because what I like doing is going into the mirror section and enable auto fold. This way I could know that my truck is locked when my mirrors are folded in. And then here would be where you could also find the pin code you could create for your pin code access on the side of your door. But in the general tab, this is where you'll find your ambient lights, which this truck does have. Enabling this will illuminate your glove box as well as your little charging port right here. No illumination under the floor mats though, unfortunately, but you can adjust the brightness. And if you're the type of folk that uses their truck as a mobile office, you do have mobile hotspot abilities on the Ranger because there is LTE in the truck. This does support over-the-air Wi-Fi updates, which is awesome. But in your lighting control, this is where you'll be able to find your ability to illuminate all corners of this pickup truck like I was showing you earlier. So right now our bed should be fully illuminating, or you can just enable all zones to automatically illuminate everything. So if we step outside, you'll see that the bed is indeed illuminated, including your backup lamps as well as your rear cargo lamp as well. And then the mirror, as I was showing you earlier, you can move it to like position it to a certain place if you're doing like a job site at night. And then of course just hit power off. And I believe you can also control this with the app as well. Then you can either control your auto high beams to turn it on or off from the instrument cluster right here, not instrument cluster, the stereo system unit, forgot the infotainment screen, that's the name. Or you can use this little power right here and move it forward, and you'll see that it has that auto high beam icon with the A in the middle, telling us that it is now enabled. And the steering wheel does support swivel too. So if you're making a turn at night, it will illuminate your right or left side, depending on the positioning where you're steering your steering wheel. And that is all the cool things about the Ford Ranger Lariat has to offer, especially here in the States. But you also will find some of these features also available on some other Rangers as well, including the Ranger Raptor. Now, if you'd like to watch that Ranger Raptor video, go ahead and check it out over there, where I go through the unique features, like some of the stuff we went over right here, but also highlighting the unique features, what makes the Ranger Raptor a Raptor. Check it out right over there. Thank you so much for watching.